Hello, I am so glad that we were able to connect over the phone today and talk a little bit more about your home search. But as promised, I am sending you this email with some more information about things to think about, things to prepare and have ready for when we have our sit down meeting to really talk about your home search, what it is that you're looking for in a new home, talk through that process and really guide you through that. But first and foremost, the most important step in this whole process is going to be getting your pre-approval ready with a lender. And so I have already sent you my lender's contact information. This is a person that I know, like, and trust, that is local. They work nights and weekends. They're really easy to work with, and I think you're really going to love them. But know that you can shop around if you want to. If you want to check your bank or the credit union or another local lender, different company, feel free to do that. It is still a seller's market right now, which means the inventory is low and demand is high. So we may find ourselves in a situation while we're in the home search process where we need to maybe move a little bit quicker than normal. And having this pre-approval ready up front is going to help with that. We won't have to wait on anybody else to be able to submit an offer when you're ready or talk about numbers and talk through those things. We'll already have that done. We'll have that information down. And so connect with that lender, get your pre-approval, but I want to give you some questions that you can talk through with them just to help you be more prepared on the financial side through this process. And so those questions are, I want you to ask the lender to give you an estimated monthly note on 3 different price ranges. This is helpful because sometimes you'll get a pre-approval up to, say, $500,000, but maybe you find a house at $450,000 or at $475,000. Like, we may not find a house right at $500,000, and a lot of people will ask, like, how is this going to affect my monthly mortgage? Or maybe we find a house at $450,000, but it's a multiple offer situation and we need to offer over. Well, how is that going to affect my monthly payment, my closing costs, all of those things? Because when it comes right down to it, we want to make sure that you are in a home that you feel comfortable with the monthly payment and with any fees associated with that. So if you're searching in the 500,000 range, I would suggest asking for like a 475, a 500, and then a 525. Or you can ask for a 450, 475, and 500 if 5 is like your max. Just whatever range, you feel comfortable in, but I would do about $25,000 increments and really understand the different payment scenarios. Number 2 is going to be your closing cost. How much are you expected to bring to the closing table? So in the past, we would typically ask a seller to pay some of your closing costs. In this market, it's not as common for us to be able to do that. We can negotiate what we can, but I would be prepared for the fact that you may have to bring all of your closing and your down payment to the closing table. So have that conversation with your lender and be sure that you have those funds set aside and ready to use whenever you need them. And number 3 is request a fees worksheet. Now, this is going to be your bread and butter when it comes to deciding between different lenders if you are shopping around, because we don't want to only look at the rate. The rate is a great thing to look at. Of course, we want a low rate if we can get it. But there are other fees associated with purchasing a home that can vary depending on what lender you use. And I know that some of these fee sheets are kind of complicated. They're a little bit hard to read. So if you need some help deciphering through those, let me know. I'd be happy to sit down and look through it with you. So that's my homework for you. First and foremost is to reach out to some lenders or reach out to the lender that I sent you. Really ask those 3 questions. Can we get the estimated note for 3 different payment scenarios? How much closing costs will each payment scenario run me? What do I need to bring to closing? And then that fee worksheet on what they're charging you. And then My second bit of homework for you before we meet and sit down again is to have your pre-approval, and then also if there's another decision maker involved in this process, sit down with them. Let's really think through what are your needs, your non-negotiables, and then what are your wants, the things that would be really nice to have. And so we will talk about this at our buyer meeting, but I want to know, what do you love about your current home? What do you hate about your current home and wish you could change? What areas have you really been drawn to and want to try to stay within? Are there specific neighborhoods, zip codes, school districts? Like, what is drawing you to a certain location? And then I want to know, like, a non-negotiable for us would be, we are not buying this house if it does not have a 3-car garage. That is a deal breaker. We don't even want to look at homes with 2-car garages. That would be a non-negotiable. Or if you're like, 2 cars, great, works for our family, 3-car would be icing on the cake. That would be a want. So write down some of your needs, write down some of your wants, have those ready to discuss with me. I want to know all of those things because I want to be sure I'm keeping us on track to looking at the homes that best serve you and your family. But as always, if you have any questions on either part of that homework, reach out to me. Otherwise, I will see you at our buyer meeting. I cannot wait to sit down and talk with you and any family members involved on how we can make this the best experience possible. I'll talk to you soon.